What's going on? What's going on, everybody? You already know who it is. It's your favorite track star, Jevon Hutchison. And what we're going to talk about today is how you can actually calculate your lot sizes and how to enter trades inside of MetaTrader 4, all right? So first, we're going to talk about calculating your lot size, right? When we're talking about trading, especially in the currency markets or any markets for that matter, it's all about managing your risk, right? When we're talking about investing, you want to make sure that you're using proper risk management at all times, okay? So I'm going to walk you through just a couple of the systems we have access to inside of the academy that I'm actually partnered with that allow us to make sure that we're always using proper risk management. And if you're inside, these are definitely some tools that you can utilize to help make sure that you're always using the right lot sizes and when you're entering trades, okay? So what I have pulled up right here is the Swipe Trades app, right? This is just one of the many apps that you have access to inside of the academy that actually gives you trade ideas and it sends them directly to your phone, right? So for example, I can go ahead and swipe on here, and as you see, it's going to give me a trade idea, right? Another one that you have access to is Gold Cup, right? So again, they actually send these trade ideas directly to your device, right? So I see I got the email. This was a trade for CAD JPY. And what most people do is actually take this, they'll go directly to their MetaTrader 4 and go ahead and enter the trade. But what you want to do is you want to manage your risk. You want to make sure you're not in too many trades. You want to make sure you're risking the right amount of your money, right? So what you actually want to do is let's actually come over here to Safari, and I want to go to IM Center, and I want to pull up, let's go ahead and scroll down. I want to go to my strategies, right? And inside of strategies, it's going to bring up all the different things that I have access to, right? So I'm going to click on Gold Cup just for this example, and it's going to open up this particular strategy, right? You see, we got a lot of tutorials right there that I can actually utilize to make sure I understand this. But right now, I want to focus on how to actually not only enter trades, but make sure I'm entering the right lot size. So when I click this drop down bar right here at the top left, you're going to see a couple things pop up. Right now, we're going to focus on this calculator, okay? So let's start off with what we have right here. You see, in this email that they sent, right, it says CAD JPY. So that's the symbol that they sent out, right, in this example, and the entry price was 78.73. So all I'm going to do is go ahead and copy that. I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to make sure I switch the pair to the correct currency, so CAD JPY. I'm just going to scroll down until I see that. Let's go ahead. Here we go, CAD JPY. And then I'm going to go ahead and type in my account size. So let's say I had, let's say I had $500 inside of my account, and I was willing to risk 5% of that account. So 5% of $500 is 25, right? So that's the most that I would be willing to risk in this particular example. My entry price, I'm going to go ahead and paste that. Then I'm going to go back to the email and I'm going to look for my stop loss. That SL stands for stop loss, right? So I'm going to go ahead and copy that number as well, just to make sure I get all the numbers. Copy. And then we're going to come back over here. We're going to go ahead and paste those numbers right there, right? So I have my account size. I have the amount that I'm willing to risk in percentages, right? The currency pair, my entry, and my stop loss. And I'm going to go ahead and click calculate at the bottom right there. So based on the entry, right? Based on the entry point and based on the stop loss that was given for this particular trade, if I was going to risk 5% of my account, the highest lot size that I should be using is a 0.09, right? 0.09 is the highest lot size I will be using in this particular trade example, right? Let's say I had $5,000 in my account, right? Now my risk is going to be $250, right? 5% of 5,000 is $250. So if I hit calculate again, the highest lot size I would use in this example is 0.87. So again, this is always making sure that you're managing your risk the right way. Let's give you one more example. So I brought up swipe trades earlier, right? So in this particular example, we have USD CHF. So it's a different symbol and different numbers. So it actually doesn't matter where you're getting these trade ideas from, whether it's one of our live educators, whether it's one of our softwares, any of the products. You can use this calculator across all platforms, okay? So I can scroll down So I want to identify the symbol USD and the entry price. I'm going to go ahead and click the button to the far right. That's going to let me copy the data on the screen. You see it says successfully copied. So I'm going to go back over here to my calculator, and I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to go to USD CHF. Let me go ahead and find that pair as well. Let's see. Right here, it's at the top, USD CHF. Let's say my account size, let's say I only had $150 in my account, right? Still willing to risk 5%. So 5% of $150 is $7.50. You see that popped up right there. My entry price, I'm going to make sure I want to change that. Let's go ahead and paste the new number. And let's come down here to my stop loss. I'm going to do the same action. I'm going to click the button to the right. It's going to copy the information. And now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to enter the new stop loss, okay? So once all of that's entered, I make sure my numbers are correct and I click calculate. And it's going to tell me in this particular example that the highest lot size that I should be using is a 0.01 based on the amount of money that I have in my account and the amount of money that I am willing to risk, okay? So let's go ahead, again, let's give another example. Let's say I had, I think that there's $3,000 in this demo account, right? So let's put $3,000, right, in my account. I'm willing to risk 5%. 5% of $3,000 is $150. I'm going to hit calculate again. So the highest lot size that I should use is a 0.2, right? A 0.2 for this particular example. So let's go ahead and enter this trade. Let's show you how that's going to work, right? So I'm actually going to come over to MetaTrader 4. I'm going to go to the quote screen at the bottom right. So if you're new to MetaTrader 4, this is how you actually go ahead and enter a trade, okay? So at the bottom left, I click quotes. I'm looking for USD CHF. You see it right there. And I'm going to click trade, right? Because I already have my numbers. There's no guesswork going on. And I'm going to want to make sure everything is correct. So I'm going to go back over here, right? So number one, I'm going to check the entry price. So 0.9198. That's where the market is right now. The number you see on the screen is the current market price. So if I go back to this, is that still near the entry price, right? 0.919. Entry price 0.919. Yes. So we are still at the entry price. So even though this trade idea came out an hour ago, we are still around the entry price, right? So I can go ahead and enter this trade. I'm going to copy the stop loss, right? I'm going to go right here. I'm going to select all and paste. Same thing. Let's go back. I'm going to go to my take profit. Let's just start with take profit 1. Copy. And I'm going to go ahead and enter that information right here as well, right? Now, there's a couple ways that I can go about doing this. So as I identified over here, the highest lot size that I should use is a 0.2, right? There's a 0.2 because I'm risking 5% of my account, which is $150 out of $3,000, right? So in this particular example, I would want to make sure these numbers here at the top in blue match that. So right now it's at 0.02. I want it at 0.2. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure I increase this, right? The number to the far right increases that. Let's go to 0.2. Let's bring that down. So if I wanted to right now, I can go ahead and enter this trade. But let me give you one more quick nugget before we go, right? So I'm on the swipe trades, right? So if I was to post this right now, you see where it says take profit 2 and take profit 3? I can actually decide if I wanted to go ahead and take this trade all the way out to take profit 2 and or take profit 3. Let's just say I wanted to do take profit 1 and take profit 2. What I would actually do is I would manage my risk, right? So I would still only want to risk 5% of my entire account. But the way that I would do that is I would go ahead and lower this to a 0.1, right? So now I'm going to go ahead and click buy, right? And I'm going to go ahead and do this same thing over again. So I'm going to go ahead and add a new trade. So all I did was basically split my order up because I don't want to put in more than that 0.2 because otherwise that would be risking more than the 5% that I wanted to risk, right? And now I'm going to copy take profit 2. I'm going to copy take profit 2 this time. same stop loss, and I'm going to go ahead and click buy again. So now I've entered 0.2, right? However, I split it up into two trades because the trade idea that was sent out had three take profits, but I only wanted to use two of them in this particular case, right? So now all I got to do is basically go ahead and wait for this thing to either hit the stop loss or the take profit. Whichever way the trade decided to go, I'm okay with the outcome because before I enter the trade, I calculated my risk. I know that I am okay with losing $150 in this particular example based on my account size. If my account size was $300, I would recalculate it. I would only want to risk $15. And maybe you're at a point where, hey, you didn't want to risk 5%. Maybe you only want to risk 2% on this trade, right? So even if your account was still 3,000, you can calculate that and you would just use a lower lot size. You would use a 0.08. You would only be risking 60 of your $3,000, right? So ladies and gentlemen, showed you guys how to calculate your lot size with this risk calculator inside of the IM Academy. Definitely want to make sure you're utilizing the tools you have access to because our goal is to be successful, profitable traders, right? And in order to be successful, in order to be profitable, you have to make sure that you're managing your risk. You have to make sure that you're entering trades wisely, right? One more example. Actually, before I leave you guys, I want to give you this last thing, right? Let's say I did have $30 in my account, right? Let's say I had $30 in my account and I wanted to risk 2%. Based on this, if I calculated that, you see what this tells me, right? At the bottom, it's telling me that I should not be entering this trade, right? So there can be times where it's not to your benefit to get into a trade, right? Just because a trade idea comes out, just because somebody sends you a signal, just because there is an idea or an option for you to take a trade does not mean you have to take it. I definitely wanted to say that because every trade that comes to your phone is not something that you should be utilizing. Just because you see a good setup, if it's not beneficial to your particular trade account, whether it's your trade account size, or maybe you already have too many open trades, you want to definitely make sure that when you're getting in the market, that you're safe. In this example right here, I don't have enough money to risk, right? But I hope you understand that to be a successful, profitable trader is going to take practice. It's going to take guidance. You definitely want to make sure you're getting it from the right place. So what I actually do is I mentor people all around the world. I put them in position to actually learn and understand this information and be connected to a family, to a community of people who are very serious about growing their income, very serious about investing, very serious about elevating in life. All right. As part of the Retired in 365 family, we'd love to welcome you into our community and serve you and help get you to the right side of money. So I thank you for watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Make sure you talk to somebody. They're out to help you. You spend all day on the phone anyhow. Why don't you make a call that's going to help you in your future? All you got to do is pick up the phone and make that call. Why are you making it complicated? It's easy.